Hello and welcome, my friends. This is Brian, the Speaker for the Dead, coming to you today with a new video. So I wanted to talk to you today about the new film, Citizen Vigilante. So I've been seeing trailers for this movie, and I've heard all the stuff. It got banned in Germany, and which makes me laugh. I'm just like, if you wanted to do something that would virtually guarantee that this movie was going to get seen by a bunch of people, ban it. Just ban it. That's going to end well. I think that's funny when people and governments think, oh, just stop people from and here's the biggest reason why. Okay, so I went and saw this film, or I downloaded it off of Amazon and watched it, and here's my take on this. Okay, if I was going to give this a score of out of 10, I'd say it gets a 3. Okay, and here's why. Here's the good things. Subject matter that needs to be discussed. Yes. The main actor, I think his name's Ari Hammer. I think. He was in Man from U.N.C.L.E., I think. He's been in a couple of films, and I guess he got into trouble with the Me Too movement and stuff, which just honestly would make me like him more, because everybody, with the very few exceptions, most of the Me Too people that got Me Too'd weren't the bad guys. They were the medium guys that, made some minor mistakes and then got their careers destroyed for it. Only a few big fish ever fried, and which is, typical for something like that. The people that really needed to be taken down didn't get taken down. Anyway, so there's a couple of things that made it okay. But there's a lot of stuff, and the more I thought about this yesterday after watching it, the negatives started to shine through more. And so here's my problem, and I'll try not to give you any spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen this, but honestly, don't waste your time. That's what I would tell you. Don't waste your time. This is not a good film. Like I said, the subject matter absolutely is. It would make a great film. They needed to do a film like this, but the way it was done was the dialogue's clunky. It's very ham-fisted. The thought processes and the decision and like I say, the dialogue mainly is not well thought out, is not well reasoned out, leaves you going, and you keep waiting for them to say, like, to give you the real reasons and stuff. It's most of the dialogue and everything that's talked about, it's very superficial on the surface, and this is meant to be a revenge movie, that somebody is going out and being vengeful on behalf of those who cannot be vengeful for themselves. And this character comes off, I mean, there's a sex scene in this, and it is really graphic sex scene. When I say graphic, he has sex with a prostitute, and and you see, and you really you know exactly what they're doing. Although they don't show everything, but you see her nude from the top. Very, very pretty girl, by the way. It just, his morals and his compass are askew. His morality, it's like this movie come across to me, ended up feeling very much like a very extremely violent 10-year-old person or kid's vision of how you solve problems. And that's how it comes off. Very, very immature, very kind of amateurish in its thought processes and its writing. The story doesn't really seem to connect. I could name a dozen other films that follow this kind of genre where the storytelling's better, the dialogue makes more sense, and you'll end up getting roped into those films a lot better. Probably the perfect example, one of the perfect examples of this is V for Vendetta. The only problem is that's made from a very extremely leftist point of view, but it is very good in telling that story. But you can watch that movie and go, well, I can totally see how this could go the other way. And so, I mean, it's a perspective movie. You can figure it out from wherever your perspective is. This film is just very, I can see what they were trying to go for, but it comes off very kind of sad. Also, if you want to see a good vengeful justice in a series, just go watch Dexter. Dexter did this 100 times better than this movie does it, where he goes out and he builds a case against these people, and he can only kill that person once he has built a case that is airtight. There is no question that this person has done something truly horrific, like rape someone or murder someone or something really bad, and then Dexter is allowed to go and kill them, and that's how he copes with his murderous rage or murderous intent that he kind of. Anyway, if you've seen Dexter, you know what I mean. If you don't, go watch Dexter and you'll get an understanding of how this movie should have or could have been done. This character is too morally ambiguous. Like it's like I don't understand how he's justifying what he's doing in this film. He comes off as just a kind of a cold, calculating capitalist who's just mad about stuff. And like his reasoning and his justifications are like, I sat there watching this going, see, this is what leftists think we think. And it's not. Like this isn't how we think as conservatives or people on the right or just rational moral people. And that's the problem. This subject matter desperately needs to be covered. It desperately needs to be talked about. The injustice, the corruption of the justice system, of the political system, of the politicians and the people who are purposely allowing these horrible things to happen, and they're basically undermining their own nations and injuring their own people. I mean, the subject matter absolutely needs to be talked about, needs to be covered, and for that reason alone, that's one of the reasons I gave this 3 stars, is because like at least it's bringing some kind of attention to this subject, to the injustices, the horror shows that are being perpetrated on Europe and America and places all over the world, where we're allowing people to flood into our countries who have values and views that are completely antithetical to our way of life. Like, they don't want to come here and integrate. They don't want to come here and assimilate to our culture. They want to come here and make us the place they just fled from, which just pisses me off in general anytime anybody does that. Whether you're moving from California to Idaho and expecting Idaho to change to become like the crap hole you just left, why would you do that? These Arabs and other people from across the world move to America and then go, well, you should do it the way we do it in our country. It's like, well, if it's so damn good, why'd you leave? Well, there's war and poverty and all of these terrible things in our country. Yeah, and it's your fault. Because, I mean, none of you stayed there to fix your own problems. You came here and brought your problems with you. And that needs to be discussed. And I have no problem with a vengeful revenge movie based on reality and facts and building a case. And like, there are plenty of people you could go to in the conservative movement and have them help you write a script that would be cogent, that would tell the story correctly from a correct point of view, that would give just punishments, that would, I mean, you could make a movie like this and just, I mean, make it one of the best revenge movies of all time, but that's not what we got here. That's what everybody was hoping when all the controversy erupted around this, but it's not. I heard Glenn Beck talking about this, and I had to stop the video because I'm like, oh yeah, because he was really going negative on it, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to get I don't want to get predisposed about this film before I see it, so I shut it off, went and watched it. Now I have to admit that Glenn Beck was absolutely right about this movie. This is not a Batman story. This isn't a Punisher story where he yes, the people that interact with him and get punished by him in this movie absolutely deserve it. Absolutely deserve what happened to them. But like the rationale, the reasoning, the understanding, the underlying moral code, the fact that like he kills a bunch of innocent police officers who are just trying to do their job. Yeah, are they following a corrupt system and taking orders from corrupt people at the top? Yeah, but they don't know that. Like they just think they're fulfilling the law. And like, I'm sorry, but he lost me at the killing the cops scene. That's not a good message to send. That's not a good thing. And the way he talks about throughout this movie is like, oh, the system is against you, and governments and religion, they're lying to you, and I am the one you should be. I'm like, no, sorry. Governments aren't the problem. The people in the governments are the problem. Letting government people forget to be afraid of their own people, because that's how the systems are supposed to work. People should not fear their governments. Governments should fear their people. And that's a line directly from V for Vendetta. And it's absolutely true. That's how the system should work. Our politicians aren't afraid of us anymore because most of us are so lulled to sleep. So many of us are so attached to our phones and just barely trying to scrape by because of the horrible decisions the politicians have made that made our lives so hard. And that we can't even afford time to pay attention to this stuff. So I'm glad this movie came out, and I'm not glad it came out. I wish they would have done a better job. I wish we'd have got a better script. I wish we'd have had something that really you could have hung your hat on and went, yes, that's the way you do this, and this is the right way, and then and try and made the government afraid of a people who are awake and aware of the horrors that they're perpetrating on their people and stuff. But no, we did not get that with this film. So that's my take on this. Let me know what you guys think in the comment. Have you seen this? What did you think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you just avoid it? And as I said, I went and watched this, and now I wish I'd have just avoided it. But I mean, at least I know what it is firsthand. So anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and we will talk to you guys next time. Bye now.